got them undone. Can't wait. So I'm gonna unpack them here. So it looks like I got a cable and some connectors. Looks like the same thing on both of them. A little bit excited. Going to pull this up. Looks like this is the front. I'm a little scared, not gonna lie. Ugh. They are heavy. And what do you, there we go. 24 volt. We are going to switch it on. %. That's exactly what the other one was. Awesome. Awesome. So we'll do this real quick over here. I think this is the front. Yep, I got it backwards. And pull this up. And 24 volt. Turn this one on. %. So awesome. Got them both here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Turn this one off. I'm going to pack them back in as much as I want to take them with me. And this is my server rack. Crap. Thank you, Signature Solar. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and pack these. I'm going to keep the crate, and I'll show you kind of how to return a battery. So this is great. We are going to leave in probably an hour, so I am not going to mess with putting those in there, but I may try to put the server rack together, but it feels like it's about 90 degrees out right now. So I might not do that because I hate getting in there soaking wet. So I should probably, as much as I hate to, I should probably put these guys back in the box. Man, I've been waiting forever. So awesome. I will pick this back up when we come back on Sunday. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the rack first, which is in this box. And I thought I opened it up. Oh, I put that open. So here's the 3 rack. No idea what's in here. But just so you guys know, I bought that battery, which was the 48 volt by accident, and emailed Signature Solar, and they found out about my batteries blowing up and me wanting to put this in, and they said, what if we send you another battery in a rack? And I said, that would be fabulous. So I am asked, if there's any stipulations, and they said just they like it to be honest. So I'll be honest. This is exactly what's coming out of the boxes here. Whole bunch of hardware. So I really appreciate the help. I'll do some videos, you know, in return, just to show what it's like to put this stuff together and stick it in the bus. So this will be awesome. Also, with having this got some weight to it. This is substantial. It's got the bus bar and stuff in here, so this will be awesome. Being able to terminate the batteries and things in here. One thing with the having just one battery, the BMS limits itself to 100 amps. So having two batteries, my limit is now 200 amps, both charging and discharging. So holy cow, this has got to be 100 pounds. But you can see here the rack. So here's where the batteries go. I've read some reviews that these probably need adjusting, so I'll do some adjusting on that. Looks like this is where the batteries slide into. I think these need to probably be adjusted for what's going in here. And then this is the I guess this slides down. This would be the termination bar. So that's pretty good size bar right here. Got the termination bar on the other one, so black and red. These must be the legs. Probably I think this is the top, probably the back. And this would be, I would imagine this would be the front door right there. And then we've got some cable. I'm not sure what size that is. I'll figure it out. Some anchors and some different components here. So what I'm going to do is put this camera kind of in fast mode or whatever it is, and I'll try to get everything all in shrink wrapped and start to put it together. There's no instructions for it, but that's a side, this is a side, top, front, back. Those would be supports, I'm assuming, either in the corners or going for the top for some lateral movement. Probably have to have some adjustments for the batteries, so pretty self-explanatory. Some different anchors and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get everything unwrapped and see if I can get going here. It's 4:30. Gonna have dinner here in a little bit, but I want to get this together. Then the other thing is I've got these batteries charging. Can see what see where they're at here. Let's see on the shot. Looks like 84%. It is it's on float, so 13 volts, looks like 18 amps going in there. Probably build those, that. I want to get those charged before I pull them out, so I'll probably build this rack, we'll eat dinner, and then I'll look at the state of charge, because I'd like to I got the air in there right now. It's 90 degrees out. We're gonna take off on Friday. for somewhere down south. I gotta look it up and figure it out. But on Thursday night, I got season tickets to Purdue football games. So that first one starts Thursday at 7:30, which means I got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. I got 4 nights to get this done, and that's doable. I figure if anything, like I did before, I can get everything wired up, and if I don't get to the wake speed, that'll be my bonus if I can get that in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the warp speed, and we'll try to get it built. So I couldn't figure it out, so I saw somebody else's video and thought I'd include it in here. So I laid this down on its side, and these pieces, I don't know if you can see this or not, they've got different shapes and sizes. And so take this so that these feet sit here, and then they'll line up. And I'm gonna put 4 screws per. So then all those go in. The one thing I don't know yet is where these guys go, but I'm hoping that will, I'll figure it out here in a minute. All right, I decided that was too far away. I've got the one side down on the ground. I've got these guys kind of screwed in here. Now I'm gonna, I guess, flip it over and figure out what to do next. So I'm charging my battery and it's still wanting to die, but wanting to show you where I'm at here. Not sure if this is coming through. There it goes. So what we've got are the sides, and then we've basically put those 4 on here. And if I can get you in here, we're basically putting these screws on here. And they put 2 on everything else, so I think 2 will be fine. We're just looking for lateral support there. Anything, all the weight will be distributed down, and that's going to be held pretty good there, especially when we put on the back. That'll keep it from racking. I gotta figure out what these are for. I'm thinking this goes on the bottom. There we go. These go on the bottom and would give it some way that I can screw it down to the ground. So I think I'm going to try to flip it over and put those on. Alright, so I figured out these plates, if we can see them here. So there's a couple different shapes to them. So I thought they went like this, and if you set them in there like that, they'll actually be flush. So that's how they go. So I'm going to go ahead and mount all of these in here. Well guys, this is a substantial rack. This is not going to go anywhere. I think, you know, having these bus bars here, these slots for the batteries, door, everything else. Man, I don't know. I looked at some because I thought it was a lot of money, but this is worth every penny. This is a heavy duty dude. So what I'm gonna do now is try to get a battery out. This thing keeps wanting to die even though I got it plugged in. I think I'm gonna let it charge up and then get a battery out and try to slide her in there. All right, so some not really problems, but I am 23.5 inches in depth, and thought they told me it was 24.5. It's actually 25 and almost 3/4. It's 24.5 just to here. So my thought was I could take the door off and it would fit, but it's not even gonna, I'm not even close. And so what I've done, I need 23.5 inches. If that battery is 23.5 inches to the back, and it looks like they have these rails here cut in here, and everything, thank goodness, is movable. What I'm looking at doing is trimming. I'll find where they put these welds in here and I'll trim this off on the top, bottom, and sides, and I'm going to trim this off and essentially move the back end this way 1.5 inches almost, or I gotta go 2.25 inches. And what that will do then, because I want this door on the front, I think it's sexy, so it'll move my battery this far forward, which these cables, they go to these anyway, so we'll have the terminals down here and they'll swing up to each of these, so shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna have to move this guy forward so that I can mount this properly, and the back's already fine, so not a big deal. I think it'll work. So I'm going to work on doing that. I think what I might do here, it's almost dinner time, is take this battery out. I want to take the top off. I'll show you what's inside. I also noticed they don't have a circuit breaker here anymore, so there's 0 volts, and when I turn this on, it turns it on, and so I'm thinking it activates its own circuit breaker, but I'll pull the top off and we'll find out. Alright, so I just took the top cover off. I wouldn't do this if I were you, but just watch the video here. Looks like they've got a couple wires coming from the positive over to the battery, and the black comes over to the BMS. So it appears the positive's got voltage there, and the negative is what gets turned off. Okay. I'm just wanting to look at this. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put a temperature sensor, and I'll take another look at it and I'll let you know. So here's an update on the tower. So what I've done is measured 6,000 or 7,000 different times, and the back, so this case is sitting upside down, and so the back of it I'm gonna have be right here. So I'm gonna cut right here and right here off on all 4 legs, and then pull this whole thing back about 2 inches. And what I've done also is I've moved this tray that holds the battery, this one and this one, forward, so the battery sits flush here and I can still go to the grounding ports, but I've moved this forward, and these trays are still sitting at the same height, but I'm going to pull that cage closer, and that will get me to sit in with the door. And if anything, if I'm still too tight, which I think I should be 1/8 to maybe 1/4 of an inch within that big door shutting on it, if anything, I can take the door off and I can put one of these panels on the front. Maybe I can put some pins on there, because I think once we get it set, shouldn't have to really mess with it. But I don't know, it's not what I wanted to do, but it's what I have to do. So what I'm gonna do now is I got all of these things moved, all these tabs exactly where it needs to be. I'm gonna get my lines, and then I'm gonna cut that off and then pull it forward, and then I'm gonna rip the batteries out and test fit it in there. And just like that, you've ruined a case. No, I think it worked out fine. So now I will mate this back together, and I'm gonna take something, there's a little bit of burrs, file it down smooth, and then put all of these connectors back in here, and it should be exactly what I need. So I'm gonna do that next. All right, so I got the ends filed down, and except for this little seam right here, really no difference. This is going to be hidden in the back anyway, about that much. So get my tape measure here, and I need to be 23 and a half, 22 and a half, really. Oh, there we go. So I might as well put the door on it and measure it. Alrighty, so I can go to 23 3/4, so I'm a 1/8 shy there, and I'm an 1/8 shy there. So she will fit in now, and with the door, and the batteries, they'll fit flush right here. Again, do this at your own risk, but it's gonna work. It'll be awesome. So I've been thinking about it too on the sides. I don't think I'm gonna put the back in. I think what I'm gonna do is put this piece right here for the back. I'm gonna put it on this side, and I'll have to see how that shakes out right here. But then that way I've got ventilation, because the back is gonna go straight to the back of the bus. I'll have the door, and then the top part, what I can do is cut that back off and file the corner, because when it sits in there, I'll have that top part cover it. So I think what I'd like is to leave a little bit all the way around that's open, and then when I slide it in there, it'll cover it so it'll look like it's finished, but that'll give me access to run some cabling inside of here and keep it nice and neat. So I'm going to continue to put the rest of the screws in here, and I'll probably cut the top and the sides, and I'll take the batteries out and throw it in. Alright, so new update here. I got the side cut, and then also these, I gotta show you this way. This is the front, and these are the bars. Because I moved these forward, these right here, they attach on this bar, so I put some angle brackets in here to hold this probably more solid than it was before. So now I've got these guys mounted, and this is for that termination bar. So now I'm going to continue to cut the top and the side, and it's a little after 6. I'll see if I can get to pulling the batteries out. I'd love to be able to stick this in there tonight. Well, she's done. I ended up trimming this off and shortening it up. I put the bottom supports on. I trimmed the side and the top. One thing, I didn't find any screws for the top. And then I stuck that's the back. I stuck it on the side because I want some ventilation. I think she's all ready to go. So I can stick it on here. So I'll clean it up, but I think the next thing I'm gonna do is unhook and pull the batteries out of there. Well, she's in there now, so I'll be able to open this up. I think I got a little leak in here. We've got rain. We've got more rain coming now. I got a little water. Need to figure that out here. Anyway, she's in here. And then I can shut the door. I've got that handle to put on. I want to see if it shuts. Looks like she works. No room to spare. So she's in. I think, I don't know if you can see the sky or not. I got about 15 minutes, I think. But I'm gonna get cleaned up here, call it a night, unfortunately. But she's in. Well, on the next episode of This Messy Garage, I got some tank heaters. They have adhesive backs, and I'm gonna put them on the battery. I'll put them on the bottom of each one. And I've got thermostats coming tomorrow to control the temperature. But what I'm going to do right now is work on getting the wiring and everything set up for this. I did have a leak. This was wet, so I let it dry out all day today. I found out on the buses here, I'll just pull it down. I've got this thing here, and it'll do 2 clicks. And it wasn't going to the second click, so the seal wasn't sealing, so I was getting some water in there. So I readjusted this so that it would shut properly. So now hopefully I won't have any more water come inside of there. So like I said, the next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take these guys out and this out, start pulling the wiring in where I want it to go inside of the rack. Well, I'm trying to get my wires routed, and I was going to mount that fuse box over here, but I chickened out because my fuel tank's back here. See this in here? I'm glad I did because it's pretty close. So I just wanted to show you that. It's still a mess. So we're a long ways to go. Just wanted to show an update. So I've got those guys mounted up top. I've got that guy mounted. Got some of these wires, the big ones, routed down and through. And so they come in, and I've mounted them onto the rack. I'm going to get some non-conductive material and put on this side. Over here, I've got the cables back behind, routed through, and they come down through, and then they mount onto the negative end. So it still looks like a mess, but I'm getting here. I got a lot of the big ones in. Now I need to get a 24 volt cable from that guy over to here somewhere. So, and then I got a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But got a mess out here. Still working on it. All right, after a lot of work, I think I got it. So I don't have the sides on. I'm gonna get a sheet of non-conductive material to put up here, but I've got the rack installed, and what I've done, because I had to move this forward, it's kind of made some of my connections tight, but I've got them all mounted. So these come from the inverter and also the alternator. This goes to my 24 to 12 Victron. This goes to the servo and the shunt. This goes to the wake speed, because they want to measure right at the battery. And then this one goes to the 24 volt side of up top. Over here I've got the this is the battery side, so it comes up and it comes to the bottom of here, and then these two they go back over to this side. So I've kind of straightened everything up. I've got all of the wires for the wake speed done. Right now I just have the battery sense left. These wires I'm going to leave under the first battery that will rest here. I'm going to coil them up, and then this right here. So I've got two temperature sensors, and so I'm going to put this adhesive underneath of the battery that heats up, and it takes a 1/2 amp on AC. And so what I'll do is when it gets cold, I'll set the temp. If these guys sense that it's cold, I'm just going to lay this in between the two batteries. And if it gets cold, it'll turn them on and keep it from freezing in here, and it should turn back off. Like I said, that's a 1/2 amp on AC. Got this charger in here, so that's to charge it. If I put the system in bypass, I can charge it. The servo, the shunt, the wake speed. I've rerouted all of my power, so I have my 24 volt coming up, and then I have my 12 coming down, and it goes to a fuse, and then the fuse comes over to the disconnect, and then this comes back over and then serves my 12 volt side and also my aqua hot. Because before, when I turned this off, I still had a bunch of 12 volt bleed. Now I have everything off of this, and that's rated for like 200 amps, and I don't have 200 amps of that load. So pretty happy with the way this turned out. Now I'm going to work on getting the first battery in. I think I've figured out a way, because I need some temp sensors to go into it. I think I'm going to leave these off for our trip coming up, unless I can put them in here, because I found these connectors that I'm going to put onto the front of the battery so that I can just plug them in. You can information from the battery to the servo and to the wake speed, but they don't, I guess can be any information that they dream up of, and so we need to figure out what that is. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and use the old school temperature sensors. So each one of those, one of that goes to one inverter and the other one goes to another, and then that blue one goes to the wake speed. So I'm going to go ahead and get my first battery out here. Alright guys, so I think I got her in. Got the batteries in. This one is the master, so it's supposed to be the 3 down and the 1 up, and I guess these could be anywhere. The battery columns are connected, which I don't know if they really need to be, but I did anyway. And then I got my connections here, everything's in here securely. I don't have my sides on yet, because I don't have my temperature sensors hooked in. I'm getting some connectors that I can plug into the front. I'm going to go ahead and I'll tap in or mount the temperature sensor inside, and then it will have like a plug on the front, and then I can plug it in. So I've got the sides off right now. I'm just going to make sure everything works. I've got to put the fuse in at the top, and it's supposed to have its own resistor inside. But I've got a fridge working in the bus right now, so I've got to turn the power off. And what I need to do is get the inverters ready to program, turn off all the loads, and I'll get them programmed for the LiFePO 4, because I don't want them to turn on and charge to a lead acid. I think it would be okay, but I don't want it to. So what I've got to do is I've got to turn my bypass off on the AC side, and then get these, I'll have them off, but have these off, and then I'll put the fuses in at the top, and then I'll turn these batteries on, and they should pre-charge the capacitors in there, and then I can turn them on and I'll program it. And once I get them programmed, then I can turn the AC on, because once I turn the AC onto it, it's going to backfeed the batteries and try to charge them. And then I've got to tell the system how much battery power is in it. I've got to reprogram that little charger, and then I also need to set the 24 to 12. So I've got all of that off. I have the fuse out of it, so when I turn all this on, I don't know if it'll have voltage coming out of it or not, but I need to get that thing dialed in as well. So I'm gonna work on that, and then I'll catch back with you. Alright, well, everything's programmed. I got the little charger programmed. Told the servo it's a 400. What I got to do right now is charge it up and then reset the state of charge to 100%. But I got these guys set. They're doing about 45 amps, I think, each. So there's close to 100 amps going in there. I'll figure out here real quick like. So if you can see that, we've got 27 volts, which seems low, in a current of 90 amps. If we come over here and we press the battery, so this one says 46 amps, almost 27 volts, and this one says 44.8, 45.8, 27, 55, 26.9. So everything's working. I am not going to get the wake speed going. I'm just gonna mess with this. I can run anything I want forever on the batteries, so I'm not gonna mess with doing the wake speed yet. I want the temperature sensor in here first. I got my I got these guys. They plug into AC, and if my temperature gets down to 32, it will turn itself on and it'll run a mat that I don't have stuck on here yet. And so each one will, and it'll warm it up. And then I've got the temperature sensors for them in between the two batteries. So I figure that should be a good indication of the heat. But this guy's working. It's putting out 12.3, 13.3 volts. I can turn it on real quick like here and show you. So put this one down in there, and there we go. So 13.3 volts. It puts that out whether I'm charging or not. So that's pretty good. So that's working. I got it on. I'm gonna see if it's hot or not. There's no heat from it. I've got the charger coming through here. It's only 12 amps, so I put a 15 amp fuse on it. Actually, it's right here. And that's my 24 volt air compressor. And then this guy is my only 12. I have it turn on a fan over here just to move some air. But so far, everything's working. I think it turned out real nice. So I'm gonna stay here and babysit this as it charges up, reset the state of charge to 100, and then probably play with it and stuff. But we're gonna be leaving tomorrow, so this is enough for me. I just want to make sure this works. But so far so good. I've got this connector right here. This is what turns on the wake speed. Honestly, I think it's ready to go. I just don't want to mess with trying to program it yet. I want to make sure all of this stuff works well. There's a lot going on there. I mean, everything should be set up right now. I just want to babysit it. So that's it for now. I think I'm going to put this video up, and then I'll do another video when I come back. I should have the connectors for the temperature sensors, pull the batteries back out. Oh, one thing I did find, I guess the LL, or the one with the LCD screen, didn't have the resistor in it, or if it is, it doesn't work with these monsters. But I turned them on, and then I charged up how I normally do, and everything worked fine. So I guess they don't have the built-in resistor. They don't have the circuit breaker like the other one did, but no big deal. Yeah, so that's it right now. Everything's working. Thanks Signature Solar for the rack and the other battery. I got room for one more in there. So right now I've got, what, 10.2. I can have 15.3 thousand watts. So pretty awesome. I think it turned out pretty good. So thanks for watching. I'll try to get this video up before we take off, and we'll bring you back next week.